Hey everybody, I'm Quaver, and today we have a new guitar. So let's talk about it. All right, so today we have a new guitar, and I did not expect this. I had an unboxing video, but it 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 destroyed itself. I have no idea what happened to it. I've been searching, and I thought I knew where it was. I have no idea. So we're gonna skip right past that, and oh wow, this new amazing guitar that I have, and ta-da! Okay. There you go. It's still bothering me so much that I have no idea where that unboxing video went to. Anyways, speaking about the unboxing though, I still have no idea who sent me this. So I tried to reach out to the shipping company that had sent this to me. Um, it was Zounds, by the way. And the tracking number made it to where it seemed like it was a gift and it was anonymously purchased. So if you sent me this, if it was a friend, a family, a follower, a fan, thank you. Thank you so much. You have no idea how much I've enjoyed playing this. And let's dive into it. Oh, but first, let me give an update on one of my other guitars. So I did a review recently on the HT6 Misha Mansour Jackson guitar that I have. If you couldn't already tell, it's no longer on my wall. I only have a few guitars in the first place, but here's some updates. A lot of the guitar that I was actually noticing was fine, but the things that did bother me tremendously about it, unfortunately, it did not stay in my collection. I went ahead and actually sold it to somebody else. It was a fine guitar. Everything about it played really well, but for one thing, I did not particularly care for the pickups. The intensity when it came to some of the voicing on how the bridge and the neck felt was muffled, staticky. In between, dead. There was no determination between the both whenever I was doing the five-way switch. And speaking of the five-way switch, I have nothing against Jackson. I have nothing against Misha in the first place. If he was wanting to go ahead and do any bit of micromanagement and quality control for his guitars, he would be severely disappointed if he ever picked one of those up, because that five-way switch, there's no determination between it being on any selection. It felt like you were literally turning another volume knob, and the clicks or the placement feeling of moving it between the pickup selector, non-existent. It was there at one point where I was just like, okay, cool, this is what it felt like. Within a matter of 4 days of me consistently playing it, switching between different pickups, it vanished. It felt like there was no give to it. The other thing with it was I had a horrible, horrible time trying to keep it in tune. I thought it had to do with the bridge, which I prefer Evertune, if not Hipshot. I thought it was the types of strings. I changed them dozens of times. Nothing. It was purely the combination of the style of nut, the locking tuners that were there, and the tension. And yes, my guitar players that know this very well, it was consistently the G and consistently the B. Very disappointing. Nothing else about the guitar really was just all that bad. There is one thing, and for those of you that know this very well as far as getting into the technical parts of frequency, intonation, and even electronics, what in the world makes one, and I do mean only one fret, if you're holding it and playing it and you do vibrato with it, it instantly goes up to a pitch and basically self-harmonics. Here's a demonstration of that, by the way. Why? Why does it do that? Just instantly harmonic. I don't understand. See, I have no idea why that was consistently doing that. There's a handful of songs, covers, even things that I was writing, practicing, playing with. It always did it on that one, and I do mean only one, fret. If it came down to other frets, I was wondering if it was because of the intonation or simply because the electronics were just not all that great. It wasn't. I have no idea what caused this. So if you'll have any useful information when it comes to that, please let me know, because I'd really like to go ahead and nip it in the bud in case it ever happens to my other guitars. But I am dumbfounded. I have no idea what causes this. So unfortunately, I love the guitar. It played really well. All those things that I didn't like about it, it didn't stay in my collection. I hope the new owner really appreciates it. But today we're here to talk about this beautiful one. So this is LTD's EC-1000 in Poplar Burst. This is one of the most beautiful guitars I've ever picked up, ever seen, ever played, and I know I'm a big fan of most guitars in the first place. This is really saying something. I'm a huge fan of blue, like I said before, and this is the style of blue that I really like. Like, if I could have multiple guitars, I don't know, things around my room, this particular style of blue, where it's that really deep kind of royal blue with black and maybe a little other accents of it, because I love natural finishes on wood in the first place, I'd be so happy. I'd have a consistently blue room in the first place, because it's still my favorite color. But the construction of this is a set through neck, which is really cool. I appreciate that. It does have the official sticker for ESP LTD that it always has. Inspected in the US, for those guitar players that know this brand, they're on all of them. It has a scale length of 24.75. Really cool. I think it might be just a teensy bit shorter, which I can appreciate. I don't believe most EC-1000s are like that, but I've seen a lot of other EC-1000s for ESP LTD style, or excuse me, brand, and I've seen and played on only one other type, and that was the one that you're probably seeing when someone says EC-1000, and it's that satin black with the gold trim, the EMG 81 and 85 in the pickups. This, however, has Seymour Duncan pickups, and I love them. They sound just as good as my solar guitar. I really do appreciate the heavy and crunch to it, but it has a searing tone. There's many guitars that I've played on that has like, oh, this has a nice little punch and clarity to it. This really does feel like it's very much cutting through most of the static that would go through in case you want to increase your gain, and it almost sounds like a little bit of a, it's hard to put words to it, but you'll see a little bit later on in demonstration. But this is, again, Poplar, burled Poplar. Love that. I don't think I've played on another guitar that has that body, the finish to it, the top finish. The body is mahogany. It has a 3-piece mahogany neck to it. The fretboard is Macassar ebony, I believe. It's a light brown. I know it's a little bit bad as far as the lighting in here, but it's a really good, really good ebony color to it. Fingerboard radius is 350 millimeters, which roughly goes to about 13.7 inches. Pretty much the same thing as my solar. I will miss that with the Jackson. That 20-inch fretboard radius was very smooth, and I love how flat, and the playability on it was just immaculate. I digress. The finish is blue natural fade. Again, love the blue. Nut width is 42 millimeters, which I believe is pretty much standard for most ECs in the first place. The neck contour is thin U, very, very thin, and has a nice feel to it. It's smooth. The fret type is 24 extra jumbo frets. Love that, because these feel really good. The hardware on it is all black natural, which is really cool. The strap buttons on it are standard. I wish they would be like strap locks, but it's okay. It's an easy upgrade for most of my guitars in the first place. The tuners are locking. Again, one thing that I can appreciate is how quick it is to change off between different strings. I I didn't have that much issues with this as far as the tuning stability. What I did have just a teensy bit of a problem with at first, because I've been playing on it as soon as I got it, and I played on it even more so probably than the Jackson one, mostly because I had a little bit more time. But the one thing that I had about this guitar that I really loved was simply the color, simply the feel, locking tuners, but I hated one little thing about it, and that was the neck was not completely flat like I guess is standard of being shipped, manufactured right from shipping is normally. It was a little bit bent. And because of that, I worried a lot that I'd have to replace the nut up here because I lost these first three top frets. So when I was doing some open chords, just playing something clean, they went silent. They went numb. They deadened. They weren't able to have any tone. And I got really worried. But I figured out what the problem was, fixed it instantly, just bowed the neck back just a little bit, and it was perfect. There's no other issues with it. Intonation is great. And the Tone Pros locking tom and tailpiece bridge is, this is some of these are some of the first bridges I had ever played with. Because oddly enough, the very first guitar that I'd ever played was, I've been trying to find pictures of it. I've been trying to find something to go ahead and actually have a demonstration of the odd guitar that I first picked up and played. I know everybody talks about, like, this was my first guitar, this was my dream guitar, this is the first one I ever played or touched or held or practiced on. Mine was definitely odd because I didn't realize how non-standard it was for a Yamaha ruby red guitar. For people around my age, you probably understand what I'm talking about. That had a locking tom tailpiece bridge on it. It was a raised bridge system like this on that. It was a Super Strat style, very heavy, really heavy, almost as heavy as like an Epiphone Zakk Wylde Les Paul style. It was very heavy. It was okay. The electronics on it were just not that great. I think it cost like $60, $70 back then. But I then realized the issue with it was just not a great guitar. So I kept on trying to upgrade, and there went the pursuit of trying to find different guitars and trying to find the ones that I love. And yes, if it wasn't already abundantly obvious, this is guitar I fell in love with simply because I can't find anything wrong with it. There hasn't been one glaring issue. From the tone knobs are immaculate on how they feel, the smoothness of it, the tightness of it. The switch is very... that I appreciate. I wish the 5-way selector on the HT6 did that. But everything about this guitar is something I instantly fell in love with. This is what I've always wanted. I've always wanted an EC-1000. I was always aiming for just the black satin one. And I was looking to go ahead and one day purchase the EC-1000 that is black satin with the silver and chrome trim and accents with the Evertune system on it. Might hold off on that just a little bit for now since I got this. Again, whoever sent this to me, thank you so much. But I can't hardly find anything wrong about it that I don't like. Even the raised part of having it like a tom, the raised bridge system, that it's definitely very different compared to the Evertune because of how flat that one is compared to how raised and fixed this is. It's not a big deal. This is such a comfortable, wonderful playing guitar that it is going to stay permanent in my collection. And the fact that it's consistently much easier than most other guitars because of the locking tuners for switching out strings. This will probably also be my teaching, my demo, my string review guitar, as well as maybe in some electronics, because I'm definitely going to be trying to go ahead and show y'all all the different stuff that I've been trying, from a couple of amps, guitar plugins, the list goes on. But this is what it sounds like. Yeah, like I said, I love the way that this guitar sounds. And if I can remember just right, the bridge pickup is the Pegasus for Seymour Duncan, and the neck pickup is the Sentient. Never heard of those particular styles or even the types. I know the brand very well, but wow, it feels amazing and it plays wonderful. Yeah, again, whoever sent this to me, thank you. But I really do appreciate y'all tuning in, and I hope you like the review. If you'd like to leave a comment, subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. If you're interested about any of the gear that I actually have demonstrated or shown before, there's links in the description to go ahead and actually try and get them for yourself. But as always, map out your strings, always use a metronome, please be kind to each other, and I'll see y'all later. Hey, I almost forgot. You can also find me on Ko-Fi/Quaver Lessons to go ahead and sign up for the lessons that I'll be giving. There's 3 different tiers, and if you want to go ahead and throw in some tips for my strings and picks, or even just to keep me energized, because there's a category for that too. I also joined the Fiverr community, and you can find me under Quaver Lessons there too. See ya!